Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever we find you. We hope it's good. Welcome, welcome. I'm JJ, vwaptrader1, and this is the Trading Syndicate or tradingsyndicate.org. Sorry. Is it Friday yet? Over the last like 2 hours, I think the chop put me to sleep. How's everyone doing? Oh boy. Hey, Kristen. Moran, how are you? Hey, John. Forget about LC. What's going on? Okay. Round four. Hey, Ramon. What's going on? We're into round four now. These are five round weeks. 5 days, 5 rounds. So Monday is a holiday. Got to remember that. So let's start with the basics, right? Overnight inventory is short. Now, the only reason it's short is the volume point of control and a good amount of the value area or cost bases are underneath yesterday's close. We did a look above and fail of yesterday's high, so we know that there are sellers up here. Okay. We haven't taken out that 7406 level yet. Low is 7407. Okay, that's what we know. What else do we know? Well, yesterday we had a P formation. People were trapped short under 21, so we had short covering at night. And it's been really back and forth. You know, we're kind of in this overall balance. With this one day, we did a look above and fail of 75.11. And then we did a look below and fail of 73.91. But we're just stuck. Right? For now, we're just stuck here. Right? Oh yeah, that gap, the gap from, was it the 14th? It still has not filled. Right? So that's kind of important because this market over the last couple of years always has filled upper gaps very quickly. You know, upper gaps fill really quick. They don't take long. Boom, they're done. They're quick. It's over. So we usually don't have gaps to the upside, I mean to the downside like this that haven't filled. They usually fill the same day. We usually go like this and then boom. But we have sellers. That's healthy, right? We're getting some back and forth here, right? While the market waits for information. Now, let's see how Nvidia is doing. Nvidia is kind of going sideways too after the news, right? I need some coffee. You're right, Descomp. I definitely could use another coffee. This chop over the last hour kind of put me to sleep like a lullaby. Oh, so what are we gonna do? Okay, we're gonna have an inside day. Okay, until we break yesterday's high or yesterday's low, it's gonna be inside. We're looking to see if we can take out that overnight low. LC, what do you have inventory? About 75% short? What are you guys seeing? Congratulations to DM Marsh for winning the trading competition tournament. 56? Yeah, so it's our inventory is half and half, pretty much, right? So when the inventory is half and half, half long, half short, what does that equals? That's what you're going to expect off the open, okay? It's going to be a choppy one. It's going to be choppy and meh, rotation, right? So don't look for that big 100 point this way or 100 point that way. Now your expectations are managed, right? We're going to look for bids. So it's going to be boring, but it's a little tight right here over the last hour. Let's go see what I'm looking for. And what I'm doing, the overnight point of control is underneath the close, which means 70% of the inventory is priced here. 70% of the cost basis is priced here, sorry. 70% of the inventory is between 74.15 and 74.42. So it's a fairly sizable range this morning. Looks like we already have selling underneath 74.22. Here's our cost basis from earlier this morning, way earlier this morning, right? Around midnight. The levels are working. 74.15 worked really nice on the downside. On this liquidation, a nice bounce from that. So what are we going to do? We're under VWAP. If we can't take out over the overnight low, okay, and if we like do one of these look below and fails of the overnight low, and we can't take out the 15s on the open or after a little while, this is our position. Now, what do you do with a position? What do you do with a position going into a long weekend when the market is very close to all-time highs? You'd like to take that and sell it up here, right? So that's one of the things I'm looking for is taking this consolidated volume, this cost basis, and going right and taking it to market to sell higher, right? Now we've got a few people harshing our mellow here, and those are the sellers. I missed this short. I took a short here earlier at like 54, 55, stopped myself out at 57, and then I was mucking around, and I for just a moment, didn't concentrate. I was going to re-enter it again when it came underneath 55, and boom, it got hammered. And that's the trade I was waiting for, and I missed it. But that's life, right? That happens. Sometimes it's a lack of discipline. Sometimes you just miss the trade, right? But I got nothing to complain about. It's been, ever since I started trading again, it's been about a week since I started trading a little bit of size. And for for one of my clients, and it's been better. Hey, Mike, I've got the Easy E voice. Let's go get this money. Yes, I agree, my friend. Hey, I am listening. What's going on? At least I don't sound like I've got cotton balls in my mouth anymore. Oh my God, that was brutal. My April voice was absolutely brutal. Good to see you. I am listening. Now, you can see we've got a seller at 74.22, right? Clear as the nose on your face. You can see that we got a seller at 74.22, right? So we mark that off, okay? Why do we mark off where the sellers are? Why don't we mark off where the buyers are? Well, we really don't care about the buyers because the sellers will tell us if the buyers come in. Isn't that cool, right? So if the buyers come in, the sellers will simply raise the price of the product, right? Which is nice because then we don't have to look at buyers and sellers and get all wrapped up in just all kinds of craziness, right? All we have to do is wait for the sellers to raise price. It's so simple, it's actually ridiculous how simple it is, right? So let's see what we do off the open. Now let's see if my brain is working. If we were position long, say we're buying a position between 18 and 22, right? So we're going long. See how the point of control is right here, right? And that's exactly what wholesale is doing. They're picking up position here in the 21s, right? But they are selling the 22s, right? You can see the seller. Clear as day, right? You can see where the seller is. If you are a position trader, right, and you're building a long position, what you're doing is you want to build that long position, you want to sell into strength when this pops, okay? That's how wholesale does business, right? You can already see we're starting to get some bids. Boom, 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 boom. I picked up a 21 and, right? Pick up a few here, sell them up, but be quick because it's going to be choppy. Let's see if that holds, right? Otherwise, your out's going to be the bottom of these candles. Now, you've got to be able to take that business expense. If you can't trade like that, then just wait for the edge and take the scalp, okay? Sometimes in our business, if you don't have the cash, you've got to wait for a more optimum trade, okay? So if you're picking up 20s and 21s, you should be selling 22, right? Right? And your risk is here at 18. If you're long 2021, you don't want to be holding it if it takes out that 17 stop, okay? And it just did that, right? If you're unsure about what's going on, my friends, just relax. And you will see that the market will give you clues, right? Just take it easy. There's no rush, right? Now, what I did was I grabbed the 20s. I tried to sell 22 and I got stopped out, okay? Just on a couple of micros, right? So 14 long, 17 out, right? Quick. I trust my levels. I would really like a look below and fail, of 15 back up, right? 15 long, 17 out, sorry, right? Now let's see if it does the look below and fail, or if it tries to hit out that overnight low, right? There's the look below and fail, long 15, selling 18, thank you very much. Thank you, right? If you can't trade fast, just watch. Practice on the sim, okay? This kind of trading is not for everyone, okay? You have to buy it and sell it in the same candle sometimes. And that's very, very hard for people, okay? Because you know why? You know why it's hard? Because you haven't practiced it. So your reflexes are garbage. And don't worry, everybody's reflexes are garbage when they start trading, right? There's no shame in learning a skill, right? There's no shame at all, right? Trading fast is a skill, and what you want to do is you want to wait until the market gets over 50. Now, off the open, we said it was going to be choppy, right? We told you it's going to be choppy, right? So we got a bit of a discount here under 18. I don't quite trust it yet. I can see that there's sellers right here at 18, right? I'm going to wait, right? The worst is when you go and you overtrade an open, and by the time the good trade comes, you are so upset and so angry, right? And so tilted that you're going to miss the trade. It happens all the time. It's happened to me. It's happened to everyone, right? If you're a fast trader, that's okay. You pick up the 16s and you sell 17, 18, but you got to be quick. You got to be quick, right? Make sure you sell them. If you're long like I am right now, the 16, just on a couple, sell them like you stole them, my friends, right? Don't wait for an invitation to sell contracts. Guess what? You're not going to get one, right? You're not going to get an invitation. If you're not quick, that's okay. You can practice being quick as you build your level of skill. Okay? Don't worry about it. Oof. One candle from the top to the bottom of balance, right? If you hesitate, right? If you hesitate in this, you're dead. You cannot hesitate. How do you learn how to not hesitate? You got to build up your skill. How do you build up that skill? By practicing the same trade 1,000 times. Right? You got to do the Michael Jordan. You got to do the reps, 1,000 free throws, right? I do not use hotkey trades. I use a mouse. The reason I don't use hotkeys is because I don't take that many trades. Also, I find that hotkeys induce a lot of overtrading, right? I notice people who trade with hotkeys, they overtrade the crap out of a day, and they end up losing a lot of money, right? Hotkeys are really great for equity trading if you're equity scalping, but the way I trade, right, is I only take a few trades a day. And I really, really like to wait until there's an edge. Buying the 15s and 16s and selling 18, 19, 20, that works for me. Why? Because you get the best discount at 15, right? Right now it's at 18 in the middle of the zone. Am I going to buy it? No. Am I going to sell it? No, I'm just going to leave it alone, right? Let the market open and let the market build out some volume. Let it bring some people in. Right? It's a little choppy. It's to be expected. Just relax. The trades will come. Okay? The trades will come. What single prints, Josh? I don't see any single prints. Yesterday there's excess, there's no single prints. B period, B period, B period. What did I miss? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I'm getting old, guys. You got to remind me. Thanks. Yeah, they were reactive, right? That's good. You know, today my discipline is lacking. My girlfriend's moving from one job to another, and she's been packing, and I gotta say it's a little stressful. She's working me like a rented mule. Not that I mind, but I'm a little distracted, you know. They say moving, I'm not moving just yet, but she's moving jobs. So moving is really stressful. I find myself not, I don't know. Yesterday, my discipline was really good. I had a really good day yesterday. Today, meh. You know, if today was Friday, I could deal with that. I could deal with today being Friday. 4 day weekend? Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. Right? If you realize your discipline is lacking, size down. The easiest thing to do when your discipline is a little off is to just to size down. Right? You'll do yourself a huge favor if you just size down. Hey, we're filling the singles. A little bit of a bid, right? Hey, Shanghai, how are you? Long time. News in 7 minutes? That's okay. What I would like is I would like a look below and fail of the overnight low. That would be cool. And if we take out that overnight low, there's the open from yesterday, and that's 73.91. That would be an interesting place to do business. Oof, big candles, big candles. Man, the order book is thin, right? It's 20s and 30s on that order book, right? You guys seen the order book, and probably in 5 minutes it'll thin out even more, right? I see 24s, 23s, 25s, couple of 30s. There is no size in that ES order book right now. What does that mean? A thin order book means that if somebody comes along and puts in a sizable order, they are going to move the market quickly in a brutal, brutal fashion. Okay? So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Hard to break the lows with semis hanging in there. Thank you for the heads up. I haven't looked at any stocks yet. Yeah, a little bit of chop, right? A little bit of chop, not a problem. Can we take out the overnight low? Hmm. Not yet. Not yet. Ugh. You know, the thing with the method that we teach in this room when it comes to our trading is we really try and teach you where to do business on the chart and to be very picky about where you do business on the chart, right? We want you to be disciplined, to be picky. That's why we want you to be patient. We want you to be patient because we want you to be disciplined. Because you have to be disciplined when you're a retail trader. Because if you just start taking trades all over the place, you're going to end up just blowing up your account. Nobody wants that. Like right now, yeah, you couldn't pay me to trade this right now. Right? There's no edge. I know that there's sellers at 18, 16, and they're coming on down. Those single prints are acting as a bid, but not enough of a bid for me to go long off of. So how about we let the large traders, who have all the cash, spend the money to find that out? Does that work for you guys? Let's let them pick up the check. How about that? You know, it's like you go out for dinner with your buddy who's a billionaire. You know, let him grab the check, right? Don't reach for it, right? This is chop. Serious chop. And we predicted it. Now let's see. Now we got that seller at 17. You know, and you'll say, JJ, there's a standard deviation there. And my goodness, you'd be right. There is a standard deviation there. So let's see. Clear it up to the middle of balance. Back down. Can we get a bid? Can we get some follow through here? Yeah, give it some time. Don't worry if you feel you've missed trades, right? Don't worry about that. They'll come, you know. Now let's see. We know that there are sellers just right here. See? So if you know where the sellers are, you can just go and mark it. Right? Once you mark where the sellers are, it really, really helps you because if we clear that seller and clear them out, the next place is going to be just right here. So say you did go long, say you went long 16 or 17, you should be selling the 20s. Why? Because everybody else is, right? You don't want to let them get your customer. There we go. It's poking its head. Signs of life. not quite ready to go just yet. Now, today at 11 o'clock in our trading room at tradingsyndicate.org, we're going to be doing a quick little webinar. Hope you'll join us. It'll be recorded for those who can't join us. Back and forth. Now, if you were just starting out the day, you'd go, oh my gosh, there's a nice balance zone between like 13 and 20, right? Ugh, come on, computer mouse. I call this chop, Attila. These are not multiple opportunities for the lookable info. That's a good question. What makes them different, brother? What makes them different is the price action. Notice how do you notice how it's kind of volatile, right? Now, if you were an algorithm, you might be able to trade it a little bit better than a human being. But as a human, right, you're going to have a bit of a problem taking those opportunities over and over again. Do you get what I'm saying? You might get one or two good shots, but if you overtrade it, most probably you'll give back your money, right? No problem. That's a good question. So what's the difference between tradable chop and chop that's going to like take all your money? Well, it's price action, right? This is a great question. We're going to cover this, right? Filling those singles. Hey, Stealth, how's it going? Good to see you. Oof. Everyone still awake? Just checking. I still think we'll put a little position together here and then go try and get it past the 24s. And if we can hold that overnight low, right? You can see this like chop, 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 chop. It's like a washing machine. And what it's doing is it's cleaning out all that overhanging inventory. All of that inventory that's above us, right? All of the inventory is above us from the overnight and from yesterday, and quite a bit from yesterday. And we're flushing that out, right? And it's like a washing machine going back and forth and getting all the dirt out, right? Bingo, 100%. Hey, our Croy, how are you? How are you? Good to see you. I do. I think they're trying to wait it out and get cheap product, right? Crap, I screwed that up. I bought 24 and a half, and I didn't get my sell order in fast enough, and I flattened it and I lost a point. That was not smart. That was really not smart. Bad discipline. There, I did it again, and I'm out at 27. Whew. See that big short covering candle, that big green candle. Now we're going to go take this, wait to see if we backfill. Wait to see where we backfill. We're going to backfill in the next 11 seconds. Cesar, that's a great question. Another really good question. Yeah, there's no such thing as indecision. That's another one of those terms that a lot of people use in trading, which is confusing. Right? If you're telling people that the market is indecisive, right? Yeah, the indecision is our indecision. We're indecisive. And that's okay. But wholesale is not. Wholesale was building a position between 12 and 18, and now they're selling it at 28. Right? That's a really good question. You guys are cooking with gas with the questions today, right? Right now, if you're long off VWAP, you're looking for 36, my friends. You're looking for 36, and there's a stop just up there, right? So if you bought VWAP at 28, 29, put your orders out. Because now what have we done, right? We've loaded up the trucks with the donuts, right? Now we're going to go and try and sell the donuts up here. So that back and forth, Cesar, you think that's indecision. And people have told you it's indecision. However, it is not indecision. Right? It is not indecision. It is the accumulation of inventory. Right now we're going to drop back down. We're going to do a little look above and fail. And as soon as we catch a bid and we catch enough people short, this thing will rip again. Right? Because the inventory has been cleaned out. Let's see. See if we can backfill down to 29. Because they're going to sell into these stops. I'm looking for bids at around VWAP, a little bit above, right? Exactly, RW Florida. Exactly, my friend. It's another long A period. There's VWAP. Bid, 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 bid. Right? Look at look at how they front ran VWAP on that candle. Now let's see if it holds. Give it some time. It's a choppy market. Right? Little look above and fail of 36 3/4, back down to 29. I said we're looking for bids at VWAP. If you are going to initiate a long, wait for the next candle. If we break VWAP, you're looking for bids at 24 and 22. Okay? Relax and breathe. Here comes the next candle. A little shake and bake here. Yeah, there's the little shake. Watch the offer. Watch the offer. Okay, so the offer stalls at 30.31, right? There we go, there we go, right? Now, I don't like trading in the middle of a zone. Sellers are at 35, okay? This is not an easy trade to take here if you're long, because the order flow is not reliable, right? So watch that offer and see if we offer under VWAP, we're going to come down into these bids here, right? Be patient. Do we get half rotation or full rotation, right? Remember, the position is here. Put it on sale, right up there. When you run out of buyers, put on sale to bring in bids. Are there any good marketing books around? There we go. We're seeing some bids. What do I mean by order flow is not reliable? I would say predictable. The order flow is not predictable. You see how big the candles are and you see how choppy it is? Okay, see how the seller's there at 34? Make sure if you are long, sell them like you stole them, okay, my friends? Sell them like you stole them. Do not wait for an invitation to sell. You're not going to get one, not in this market. And that's what I mean about the order flow not being reliable. At any time in a market, you see how thin the order book is, right? So say you're long 31, 32. I'd be selling it here, and I am, like I stole it, right? There is no reason to not sell into strength, right? Long off the 31s, 32s, because you saw it look below and fail VWAP right up to 36. Right? Get in, get out, get paid. Do not wait for an invitation because you're not going to get one. Okay? Someone's going to snake your customer, right? Remember, when you're long, you're a seller. When you're long, you're selling a product. Okay? Other people are trying to get that customer, not just you. Everyone's trying to get the customer, right? You're all competing. We're all competing to get the same customer, right? Pretend we're working at one of those outdoor stalls, right? Someone drops by to buy some oranges. Pour high. Let's see if that holds. So you got to make sure you sell, sell, right? Don't worry that you're not getting 30 points a trade. Worry that you're making money and keeping it. Okay? Okay, now people are trapped short under VWAP. Everyone who's short from 29 and underneath, they're all going to cover now. And what did we tell you half an hour ago? We told you that we're going to take this cheap crap and we're going to go sell it up here. And that's exactly what's happening. Okay? So news helps, right? News is a catalyst, right? You know, the news comes out, people sell, the news comes out, people buy, right? But you don't care what the news is, right? What you care about is where's the inventory and where are the buyers, right? You don't trade the news, you trade the chart. Beautiful, Arcroy, beautiful, 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 right? Right? And that's good, RW. Thank you for the heads up, right? Trading news is really difficult because it happens so fast. The only thing that can trade news really quick is an algo, right? The algo gets in there and starts banging it around. But for us, human beings, we can, yeah, it's, you know what trading news is like? You know the very first Rocky when Mickey had him chase the chicken, right? Trading news is like when Rocky was trying to chase that chicken. It's just impossible to catch it, right? So just trade your setup, trade your chart. It'll just keep you from getting tilted. You know, a lot of people try and get people to trade the news, and I swear to God, they work for brokerage firms or market makers so they can take your money. I know it sounds bad. JJ's conspiracy theories. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Right? You know. Now I think a little bit of sideways action. If you're a market profile geek, you can see that there will be some bids here. Why? Because the traders trapped short here will try and bid. If they see size, they'll drop their bids. And it's volatile this morning. It's a little volatile. Okay. Oof. 15 to 37. Nice work, Hex. Beautiful. Well done. Flush stop exactly. Welcome. Good to see you. So a little distribution, right? As my buddy Addy would say, JJ, we need big, big distribution, right? That's what that is. We're selling this here. Distribution is a pain to trade, right? Now let's see. What's our next move? Oh yeah, I mean these algos, electronic trading now, Elliot, is so fast. You know what it's like? It's like PDK transmission in a new Porsche, you know? You know? You know, that thing can shift, quicker than you can you can blink your eyes, it shifts, you know? Very, very hard to compete against that. That's why we have to, that's why I keep harping on we only do business, right? Where we have an edge. Right now, I don't see an edge. We're in distribution, right? When the chart supports it, exactly. The chart has to support our trading decision. Right now, the chart is telling us, and look at it. It's always like 5 minutes into the second half hour, and the chart's kind of telling us, you know what? Maybe it's coffee time, right? If you are short, you're looking for VWAP. If we accept back up over 37, watch your whiskers. Remember, the cost basis is underneath 28, 29. So they can put it on sale all the way down there. And then the cheap cost basis is under 22. So they can sell it all the way down and still cash up. Okay? I don't trust that B period low yet, but because it front ran the close and it still hasn't tagged it. But look at this. Look below and fail of 36 and 3/4. There's a seller at 38. It's going to backfill a little bit. What does it mean when I say backfill? Markets go up and then they go up to create demand and then they go back and fill in that demand with supply. So that's what I mean with the term backfill. Now, if you're long 37, 38, your stop's going to be, I would use the bottom of that candle as your stop. And you're going to be wanting to sell the 40s. And see, there's a standard deviation at 42. So you really want to get out there. All right. See the top of those two candles? The sellers are going to be there. They're going to be in the bushes waiting to take your customer. So if you're long 36, 37, 38, sell the 40s, sell the 41s, right? See, there's the seller, right? There. See the top of the candle? Aha, there they are, right? Sell into that strength and front run. If you know there's a seller at 42 and a quarter, 42, hell, I'll sell 41 and a half. Because 37 to 41 is a nice trade. It's a 3-4 point trade, right? And there's nothing wrong with 3 to 4 points on 5 E-minis. That's a beautiful trade. You know, I've never traded oil, Hex. Oil's a very thin market, isn't it? I've never traded oil. I've raised money for oil companies. I've drilled for oil. But I've never actually traded the futures. I think after we drilled 17,000 feet in Bakersfield and dropped $5 million into a dry hole, I kind of, yeah, TBD, we drilled Midway Sunset. We drilled 17,000 feet into Bakersfield. Dropped $5 million into the well. Thank God it wasn't my money. And dry hole. Bupkis. Nothing. Nuevo Energy was our operator. You know, my client had just made $400 million on Briax. But he wanted to do his own deal. And it was 1997. And I said, it was 97, 98. Let's do an internet deal. He told me to shut up. Oil was $17 a barrel. And I was like, nobody's going to buy the stock. Dow is green. I don't even know what the Dow is at right now. I still remember when the Dow hit 10,000, it was such a big deal. Oh, you've been in the Permian? Good football. Friday Night Lights, eh? Dow's at 50,000. Now you know how old I am. When the Dow crossed 10,000, they gave us, what was that? Spear Leads and Kellogg gave us hats. Dow 10K. Oh, I think we're going to take out the close, yesterday's close. Let's see. Thanks, Stacking Pips. I have been around a long time, and I've made every mistake in the book. And I've made some mistakes that aren't even in the book. Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, now you're cooking with us. Back to VWAP. If we break VWAP, we're going to come back down to 74.24.22. Okay? Careful here in the middle. Right back into the balance. Big candles, Renee. Big candles. That the order book is thin, right? Exactly, Aaron. Can you guys hear me? If we go in and test the overnight low, would you play it different? No, I always do the same thing, Hex. If we test the overnight low, I'm going to look for a look below and fail of the overnight low. This is a nice look below and fail of 22. Sorry I missed that one. My bad. I should have called that out. Got a little distracted by my technical difficulty. Apologies, apologies. If I was on the ball, I'd be long 24, selling 28. Yeah. So say, Aaron, if you had bought 22, 23, 24, right? Say those are your fills, and you bought them here. You know that there's going to be a seller at VWAP, so you just put your sell orders out and make sure you liquidate into strength, right? Okay? It's a thin order book. That's why you got to be so quick. You got to be so quick. Now, if we break that 74.20, we're going to come down and test the 15s and the 12s. The cost basis for this morning is here, right? You can see it. See that? That's the point of control from this morning. This is the open of business, right? Now remember, we've trapped all these people long. Now we got to flush them out. If we flush them hard, we'll do a look below and fail at 15, right? No, it's always a dynamic target, Aaron, because it changes all the time. It changes all the time. If you were long now, your target, yeah, exactly, would be 26, 27. Exactly. Because you know there's going to be sellers there, right? Now, if it starts, see how it nailed the 27s, right? What else do we got here? What about these thin products? See there, see now we're under 20, we're looking for 15. What about thin products like gold where there's only 30-minute hardly 15,000 contracts about it full? Who drives the book? Size. It's always size. Is anyone here old enough that they've heard the term size takes preference? Or have you ever heard the term stock ahead? You ever heard those terms? Anybody? Stock ahead, size takes preference. In the old days, if you went to sell a stock at $5 and there was 50,000 shares ahead of you trying to hit that $5 bid, the market maker would say there's size ahead. Yeah, I know, I'm old. Right? Right? The term still applies, however, it's all electronic now. Now, we've done a good, yeah, exactly, no bid yet, right? No bid yet. What? I'm fixated on that overnight low. Okay, here we go. If we take out the A period low here, that's going to pop some stops, right? Elliot, I don't know what that means. Price is bigger than size, bigger than time. It sounds interesting. Could you explain it? Size takes preference. So if you're going to try and sell something, and I've got 100,000 shares, my order is probably going to take preference because, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, okay, there's that 15 look below and fail, but there's a seller at 18.17. There could be a bid there, Aaron, but it's not guaranteed, unfortunately. Right? There might be a bid there, but it's not guaranteed. So we're going to come back in a half an hour and we're going to do a quick half an hour session on details. Aaron, I'm not really a big believer in taking test trades in RTH. Okay? I would I would only do that when you first start trading, and only do that if the setup is there, right? I wouldn't test to see if a bid is there. Look below and fail of 15, long 16, selling 20, right? And that's what we teach in the room over and over and over and over and over again, okay? So I'm going to let you guys go a little bit early to save my voice. And remember, at 11 o'clock, right, we're going to do the quick little session, right? It's an old school method. But the problem is, Aaron, that in this market with a thin order book and a volatile product, it's dangerous to do that. Markets have changed. So we'll see you in half an hour. And please bring all your questions, okay? Okay. It's going to be on Zoom and it will be recorded. Thank you very much for being with me. Please join us at the Trading Syndicate and watch your risk this morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you all at 11 in the room at tradingsyndicate.org. Thank you so much. Bye for now.